The following is a presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.
Wingate sure has shocked the whole nation with getting a big road win against Lenoir-Rhyne, and the fact that they had only lost one game all year. They're getting some attention now. I think moved up to 18th in the country.
Maybe in D2. I think they're 21st in the AFCA, nationally ranked regardless.
Yeah, but got up there in those rankings, and they're fired up, and rightly so, leading the nation in defense, in total defense and scoring defense, and leading the nation in several other categories. And so, they're a good football team. Some of the youth problems that they run into last year that we're running into this year, they're older, and they're playing a lot better, and so going to be a real challenging ball game for us.
Only defense in the country that allows fewer than 10 points a game. What makes them so successful? Well,
they've done a good job tackling people, been lining up and attacking the line of scrimmage, and they're not giving up. They've been pretty. They've caused a lot of turnovers, and their offense has stayed on the field. So when your offense stays on the field eating up clock, and your defense is causing turnovers, in other words, I saw the Lenoir-Rhyne game, and I think each one of them only had 6 possessions. So there's only 12 possessions the whole ball game. No, that's not right. It was 13 or 14 possessions for the whole ball game. And when you turn the other team over 2 or 3 times, 4, then that means that they only had 2 or 3 possessions where they had a chance to score. And so that's pretty good. That's pretty good football there when you hold the other team to, you don't let them have the ball and have many opportunities, and then half of them you take it away from them. And so a great scheme and great deal of what they're doing right now.
It really feels like, at least offensively, they've switched up their schemes. When you think about Wingate, you think of a Robbie Nallenweg or Chris Bowden and aerial assault, but this year it's Lawrence Pittman pounding out yards on the ground, the nation's 5th leading rusher. What do they do to give him the football and make him successful? Well,
they got big old huge offensive line that's averages about 6'5", 320 or 310 or somewhere around in there, and they got a big running back that weighs 230 pounds, and letting him go up in there behind those big guys and see if anybody can slow him down. And he's got some quickness, and then the quarterback pulls it down and runs it. And he's a second leading rusher, and has made a lot of big plays for him by, they're doing a little bit of zone read with the quarterback keeping it some, and but mainly what they're doing is just line up and run the power play and making people play fundamental football, and and with so many people throwing it nowadays, there's not many people that's actually lined up and playing fundamental run football anymore, and so it's a change up, and they're doing a great job with it, and but they're throwing pretty effectively, and that makes it so you got a double-edged sword. It's not like Lenoir-Rhyne, it's one-dimensional. They got a great running game, but they're two-dimensional. They can beat you either way.
What is it? You brought up a power running game. Can you compare what they do offensively to anybody else that you faced this season?
Somewhat like Newberry, except probably have been a little bit more efficient with it. At least the way Newberry has played maybe the last couple of games. And and Wingate has improved and kept getting better as every game goes along. They really have been the example of improving every week.
You have an opportunity to win your 200th South Atlantic Conference game this weekend. I know.
Who keeps doing all this counting?
You didn't realize I could count that high, did you?
No, you ain't got that many toes.
You don't know that. I've got the shoes on right now. I know that those types of things don't mean a whole lot to you, but what do the people that have surrounded you throughout the years to get you to this point mean to you?
Well, it means everything. It's all about people. It's all about relationships, and the fact that from the very beginning we had 5 or 6 coaches that stayed together for a whole bunch of years, over 25, almost 30. Where the whole group stayed together, and that's an amazing statistic in itself. I bet you can't find another team in the country that's happened to. And then to think about, just like homecoming Saturday, gosh, we had so many guys. One guy that had a 15-year NFL career that was here, Jay Floyd, who's superintendent of schools in Georgia, that was here. We had so many alums that were here. In fact, I couldn't even get through the gate because of a bunch of ex-players. And boy, what a treat that is to see them and talk to them, and they're the ones that deserve the credit. Like I've said several times before, and I know everybody gets tired of hearing it, but I hadn't played one football play. I did back in 1902, but we didn't have any record then that was worth talking about. So anyway, just really grateful for the investment that a whole lot of people have made in this program, and I didn't know anything about 200 wins or conference wins or anything like that. And so all I know is we've already lost 2 this year. That's all I know.
Is there anything that you can take from the game film last week in terms of how Wingate schematically went against LR's offensive attack? Well,
LR did a lot of things to hurt themselves. And the biggest thing is what Lenore Ryan did against themselves, and the second thing they did, Wingate did, is like I said earlier, they just held on to the ball. They had unbelievable possession time, and they limited the number of times Lenore Ryan got the football, and they had no turnovers. So pretty good combination.
In terms of your passing game last week, it looked like you ran a few more routes than you've had in weeks past, not relying on the hitch and the quick outs. Is that something that you want to try to do a little bit more of, try to get people in the seams against some of these defenses?
Well, your passing game, let me tell you about your passing game. You got to protect the thrower. You got to have people run good patterns so where the thrower can throw it to them. And then you got to have a thrower that's throwing good. And we've not done that all the time. We didn't do it Saturday at times. We missed some open receivers a couple times. Receivers dropped a couple. He was having to throw it off his back foot a few times because people were in his face. He probably scrambled once when he didn't have to, but he wasn't sure that we was going to block the linebacker that was coming. And so it's all a matter of confidence. It's a matter of faith, and it's a matter of everybody doing their job. It takes 11 people on a pass play to do their job.
On the defensive side of the ball, it seems like a different guy each week comes up with a game-changing type of play. Justin Long this week, you've had Jerry and Xavier and Saheem and a load of players this year come up with big plays and big situations. What does that say about your defense that so many different guys have been involved in some of the game-changing plays? Well,
it just means they all need to do it in one game. But two big things that happened. The sack out of who was it?
Lane.
Yeah, Lane. Lane made an unbelievable play for us, and when he made that play, offense came out on the field and went down and scored and got the lead. And then we had that little freshman, Jason Cook, that made the tackle of the sack that ended the game. And so that was 2 big plays. But for Justin Long to be doing what he's doing, it's quite an amazing feat. It really is. And to block 2 field goals. And I think because we were getting some pressure on the kicker, that missing the extra point might have been a factor on him missing the extra point. He saw people in his face. And so, hallelujah. Great breakthrough for us.
DeAndre Thomas finally had kind of that breakout game his senior season last week with 168 plus yards on the ground. What's he need to do to continue to read the option well?
Well, we got to put him in a position to where he can read the option by not having people getting in position that they shouldn't be in, by us not making blocks that we're supposed to make. And so, again, it's a team deal of being able for him to have a clear picture of what he's reading. And but with the exception of about 4 misreads last week, it was a whole lot better. And that's what we got to have in our. If we're putting it in the quarterback's hands and he has to make the decisions that decides who carries the ball at what point of attack, then he's got to get it done for us. And but it was great to see him have a good ball game and to be smiling big after the ball game. We really enjoyed celebrating together after that ball game, all of us. It was a fun time after that ball game.
How good is a game like that, a close, tight game that's decided in the fourth? What can that do for your team?
Well, I don't know. Ask me after this next ball game. It should be a great stimulus, and it should put us it should raise our level real fast. But we'll find out.
Eric Maples for Wingate is now the reigning SAC Defensive Player of the Week. What sticks out to you about him at linebacker?
He's played a lot of plays, and he makes a lot of plays. And so quality athlete, does a lot of things great.